Hey, Facebook, really fast because I'm in the middle of a lot of stuff right now. And I wanted to hop on because a friend of mine posted something the other day about, wishing for a stress-free life and does such a thing exist? And I kind of chimed in because I chime in as always, explaining how, the idea of stress-free is not really what we think it is, because life is never stress-free in terms of there being challenges and things that pop up like two missing hamsters. You come home and you're traveling in 12 hours and you still need to pack. And now you're like looking for two hamsters, right? So I decided to hop on and do this video because this is a perfect example of what I mean when I talk about living a stress-free life, because I really do live a stress-free life, not because my life isn't a complete mess a lot of the time, because life is messy. Life will never be without challenges. Oftentimes at the worst possible time, it seems. Like, how long have we had these hamsters and they get out when I'm like need to pack and get out of the house in 12 hours? Yes. But the point is, it's not about what happens in your life, not about what challenges we have in our life. It's about how we relate to them. It's about what stories we believe in our head about those challenges. Because we always have the power whenever something unexpected, painful, all the crap, right? All the crap. Whenever that stuff happens, we have the power to look at it with a positive mindset. And first of all, accept that it is what it is. Like, the hamsters are missing. I can't do anything about the fact that the hamsters are no longer in the cage. So what can we do? We can be as positive as possible. We can look for clues. We can try to make it as fun as possible. And we embrace the worst case scenario that we may not find the hamsters and the hamsters may die. And that's the worst case scenario. And it's not stressful because it is what it is. And I won't let myself have any kind of story around it that is negative. I won't let myself tell myself a story about being overwhelmed, because overwhelm is a feeling that we experience when we believe stories in our head about not being good enough or there not being enough time. That's not true. It's never true that we're not good enough. And it's never true that there's not enough time. Now you may say, but Pam, I'm constantly under time pressure and there's never enough time. Yes. And it's about how we deal with our interaction around time. If we stay in the flow, if we stay focused on the fact that X, Y, and Z needs to happen in any way, shape, or form that we can make it happen. And in life, nothing is ever completely in our control. So all we can ever do is our best and surrender the rest. So for me, whenever I'm under like a time constraint around like, we need to find the hamsters in the next 12 hours, yes, ideally we're going to find the hamsters in the next 12 hours, and we might not. And I'm prepared for that. Either way, I'm going to have a super positive attitude that any moment these hamsters are just going to come running across my sight line and I'm going to get the hamsters. But I may not get the hamsters. This may be one of those times when things don't go as planned and we have one of the worst case scenarios, which is, well, the worst case scenario is they die somewhere. We don't know where they are for a long time. They start stinking. Like, that's the worst case scenario, in my humble opinion. Talia's worst case scenario is that they crawl in bed and start eating her toes. That's what she's most worried about at this moment. But the point is, we have all of these ideas around time and around what must happen. And so much of life ultimately is out of our control. So the key is the serenity prayer, right? The key is to be like, all right, I'm going to bravely do my best, and everything that's in my control, I'm going to do my best on. And then I'm going to find the peace to surrender the things that are out of my control. And then it's the wisdom to know the difference. And so for me, I know whenever I start to feel stressed, it's because I'm relating to something that's happening in a way that isn't of service, that isn't true. Because if I'm believing that I absolutely have to find the hamsters in the next 12 hours, that's going to cause stress because I may not be able to find the hamsters in the next 12 hours. But instead, if I'm like, all right, I'm going to do my best to find these hamsters. And if I'm meant to find the hamsters, I'm going to find the hamsters. And if I'm not meant to find the hamsters, I'm not going to find the hamsters. And that ultimately is out of my hands. Then I'm stress-free. And it's all about how I'm relating to it in my head. So I just wanted to pop on and explain that because I got a lot to do, finding the hamsters and packing. But all this stuff is a game changer when you start to practice it because it liberates you. It liberates you from like clinging and blocking kind of the flow of life. And so practice this. Notice what stories you're telling yourself. When you start to feel stressed, say, wait a minute, what am I believing right now? What story am I telling myself? And how can I reframe it so it's a healthier story? That I'm embracing the worst case scenario and a best case scenario. I'm embracing doing my best. I'm embracing knowing that I'm good enough, even in the worst case scenario, even if the hamsters die, which is not ideal. Doesn't mean I'm a bad mom or bad. It's all good ultimately. In the fullness of time, all will be well. So peace and love. Send a lot of positive vibes to the hamsters. If you're traveling over the next couple of weeks, enjoy the travels, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.